All right, let's get right into what we're going to be talking about today. And recently, I have found this design style that I've become totally obsessed with. And I can't find the name for it. It's like this magical, mystical style, and I know exactly how to describe it in many words, but just not in like one word. I think that's for the best. That must mean it's a good design style. The fact that it hasn't become so overrun that now it has this handy dandy label that we use all the time. So I wanted to dig into this design style today, and I want to tell you how to achieve it because I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I'm planning on using this in my own home, doing a bit of a home refresh soon, using this particular design style. So let's break down the elements. I've just shown you a few inspiration images of what we're looking to achieve. And yeah, let's talk about it. What is this mysterious, mystical, magical design style, and how do we get there? So let's start with three principles that I think really are the focus of this design style. So the first is definitely light. With this design style, I'm seeing a lot of warm woods and white or beige walls. And I have to say, like, I'm not particularly a huge fan of either of these design elements, like in isolation. But I do think packaged in with the rest of the elements we're going to talk about today, this is a huge factor of why this works so well. So with these white and beige walls, you can see that it really does frame all of the gorgeous objects we're going to put into our designs. So that's principle one. The second one is play. I've noticed with this design style, like the color is playful. It's almost a little bit whimsical. And I think that's because we're not afraid of bright colors, bringing bright colors into our space and mixing that in. And then the third, I would say, is glow. I have noticed with the warm woods, that is really bringing in this like kind of tint to the space that frames the rest of the space. That pairs really nicely with like yellows, blues, greens, and it's very grounding. Let's say this is nature coming into this design motif. So those are the principles of this design style. Now, how do we go about achieving it? Let's start breaking it down. So we've already talked about the paint color, the beige and the white walls. And then I do want to call out that typically what makes these spaces great is like pretty quirky architectural spaces. So I think this is just goes to show like I'm living in this, 1990s quirky space with some columns and some, like this little sunroom thing, and like do not be scared of moving in somewhere where the space is a little bit strange or unique, because this gives us so much room to play. So that's the second thing, is like we have our walls, and also know like a lot of these spaces that we're looking at today are kind of strange architectural spaces that have been given life, and don't be scared of that when you're renting or home owning. All right, and the third thing is this different color palette I'm seeing with this design style. So there is a play on bright colors and primary colors in this space that I love. You've heard me mention in videos before, primary colors are so appealing to me. They really tap into something kind of visceral for me, because I think that we never use them when I was growing up in the 90s and early 2000s. And what I love is using these primary colors as a basis. We kind of like build out the complementary colors, and we end up with a palette that is very diverse. And you couldn't necessarily, unless you have a designer eye, you couldn't necessarily pinpoint the palette just by taking a first glance. So I love that. I love like the blended feel of these yellows, these pinks, these blues. And it can be done to any extent. Like you could have like an accent, or you could have like a full room of color. And I really love that way of styling. Now let's break this down once more into furniture selections. So I'm not seeing in this design style many pieces you can just like go out and buy in your day-to-day living. Now I will say I'm creating a shopping guide that will show you where you can find pieces that are inspired by this, and I'll include some vintage pieces as well as very well done mass-produced pieces. But what I love so much about this space is this design style is that we are starting to bring in stripes, pattern. We are bringing in kind of this like lack of care for scale, which I really love. I mean, scale is a big part of it still, but I'm just saying it's like more play in the scale. And what that means is like, there isn't just like one rule that follows this like whole design style for like big, like, oh yeah, big comfy couch, or let's see what else, like really fuzzy rug. It's like, no, we're mixing it up with texture. So like I will show you in this one space that I keep returning to again and again. I have like a very delicate coffee table, and it isn't substantial. And then I have a very small rug. Okay, well, traditional design style or design advice will be like, make sure you get a bit, you know, as big rug as you can for your space. And then I have a, you know, long chase chair. Oh, and then I have a accent chair. And, you know, it's definitely not that standard look. And I absolutely love that, with such attention to detail in how to make your space like fantastical and whimsical. So as someone who really values that in my own space, I'm definitely going to be trying to bring these things in. So I think that is a great place to stop today on how to achieve this design style. What do you think? What do we call this design style? I'm totally obsessed. I've been posting on Instagram and TikTok, like, is this California Beachside? I've seen in some articles it's French Riviera. I don't know. I really don't know what this is called, but I absolutely love it. So if you'd like to work together on a space, I work with clients of all different budgets, and my goal is that you walk away from working with me with a better sense of mental health and wellness, because we have tailored your space to meet your goals and your daily routines. So that is my whole MO here at Rachael Petrie Interiors, and you can check me out at rachaelpetrieinteriors.com, as well as Instagram and TikTok, which are linked below. So I hope you have a great time shopping for this design style, and comment below, like and subscribe. What do you think? Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.